Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. I have got my fuzzy microphone today because Ryan's got a new camera, so we're trying it out. So if this looks weird, I'm not talking into some fuzzy stuffed animal. This is actually a microphone. Happy end of June, everybody. We're coming to you today live from the Warren Oliver Page Fire Headquarters right here. You can see Chief Warren Oliver Page. And I know that, and I say that name so well because he was my grandfather. So I love coming back here. And I just know building this station back in 1978 was such a big part of his life and what he did. And he gave 34 years to the city of Newburyport, over 25 of them as chief. So it's great to come back here. So I'm here because a little later in the show, we're going to have Connor Clancy come out, who's a firefighter here in Newburyport, and he's going to talk to you about a new software program that we actually bought a couple years ago, but we wanted to just highlight some of the things it's doing for the department. So we're going to get that in a second. But I guess I will say happy birthday, America. 249 this year. So July 4th is coming up next week. It comes on a Thursday, okay? So I'm not going to do a Mayor's Corner next week. So Billy, if you're listening and watching, no Mayor's Corner next week. So there's going to be no Mayor's Corner next week. City Hall is going to be closed Thursday and Friday, okay? The library will be open on Saturday. What else can I tell you? The yard waste facility will be open on Friday and Saturday. Those are the big things. But I hope, it looks like the weather's going to be great, so I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend next week, gets to enjoy some of this great weather. Go down to Market Landing Park if you haven't been yet. We did the ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago. Thank you for everyone who came out to celebrate that momentous occasion. But the park looks absolutely beautiful down there, so get out there and enjoy that this weekend. Oh, we got a fire truck leaving. Hopefully Ryan can still hear me. They're going back out. So the fire truck's leaving. They're going to go do their job. Thank you, fire department, for doing all that you do. What else is going on? School got finished a couple weeks ago. So if you're like me, I've got 3 kids home, trying to keep them busy. Some are working, some are doing camps. But it was a great end of the school year. I want to congratulate all our sports teams up at Newburyport High School who had great spring seasons and great state tournaments. As we know, the girls lacrosse team made it all the way to try to defend their title in the state championship game and lost a tough game to Medfield, but they had a great season. But everyone of our spring teams had a great season this fall. I wanted to point out the Mullen Awards. So the Mullen Awards are awards that are given out to teachers every year. They're named after Ed Mullen, former school committee member and also former mayor. This was his thing that he donated the money for these awards each and every year. I know my dad, who was a longtime teacher over 33 years in Newburyport, will always says getting a Mullen Award was one of the greatest honors he's ever had because you're nominated by your peers. And we had really 3 great recipients of Mullen Awards this year, and I just wanted to call them out for like the elementary, so grades pre-K through 5. Maggie Flaherty, who's one of our counselors at the school, Maggie Flaherty won, who I actually went to high school with, so it was great to see Maggie win. Boyd Hancock for the middle school. Boyd has been a tremendous asset. She's worn a lot of hats in our school system. But it was great to see Boyd get, she's also a neighbor now up in my neck of the woods up around the hospital. And then Dr. Erin Hobbs, the head of science at the high school. So 3 great teachers. It was really great seeing them get recognized. So congratulations again. And I hope all of our teachers and administrators enjoy some of the summer break and get ready to recharge and come back for the September 2025 school year. I'm sorry, 2024 school year. Okay, what else is going on? So I guess the biggest news that happened just recently is the FY25 budget just got passed. Got passed Tuesday night. It was kind of a weird meeting, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But just to go back through the process, I want to thank first the City Council for all of their budget hearings. They had 8 of them. They're run by Councilor Zeed, who's the Ward 1 councilor, but he's the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. We had 8 public hearings that are open to the public, and they bring in departments one at a time and talk about the budget and like what are their needs and what they're seeing. We talk about goals, we talk about trends, we talk about what happened the past year, and they do this for the whole budget. So that part was great, and it's a lot of work by the City Council. I want to thank my department heads for being a part of that process, but then also the months it took putting this budget together. It was a tremendous amount of hard work. I do want to single out Andrew Levine, my chief of staff, and finance director Ethan Manning, because a lot of this at the end falls on them, putting it all together and really being available for a lot of these deep dive questions into the budget as we get into these budget hearings. So anyways, we get to the vote. And it was actually a really close vote. Closest vote I've had on my budget since taking office. Actually, I don't know if I've had a budget that everyone didn't vote for unanimously, but the vote passed 6-5, right? We have 11 city councilors, and it passed 6-5. And it was interesting because no budget cuts were proposed in their last meeting on Tuesday night. And we're ready for that, right? We always know that they're probably going to cut something. You know, I really worked hard this year putting a really thoughtful budget together, so I didn't think there was much there to cut, and apparently they agreed to a certain extent because no cuts were proposed, and then the budget was passed 6-5. And like I said, that was unusual because there was not a lot of conversation around the budget in the meeting. So anyways, that was the budget piece of it. And so just some numbers to throw at you because, you know, so the general fund, it's just about $87 million coming out of the general fund. And then the general fund combined with the enterprise funds, it's almost $103 million. Hopefully I said that first one right too, 87 million and then $103 million altogether for expenditures for next year. Okay, so then we move on to the capital improvement plan, right? Our CIP. So we have to put a plan together. It's in our charter, and the council has to vote on it. Now the plan isn't binding. The plan changes actually quite a bit. It's actually changed quite a bit since I've taken office. Projects get moved up and down. Some project gets moved up. A lot of these projects are in there because we've worked on them and put probably some money, whether it be grant money, state money, towards some sort of design towards them, but it doesn't mean you're doing all of them. And there's about $150 million in projects. And what's in there, everything over $25,000 is in there. So for example, you have the Recreation and Youth Services Department building in there, but you also have like a new lawnmower for the Parks Division in there, right? So there's a wide range of things in the CIP. So the same 5 that voted against the budget decided to also vote against the CIP, again for similar reasons. They didn't think there was an appetite on the council to make cuts to it. Again, to me, this is more of like a strategic tool that we use that kind of just shows all of our projects out there. Again, it's not binding. Another council also mentioned it wasn't prioritized, which I would argue, of course it is, because everything in the year for next year are things that we're planning on doing. I think it's the years after year 1 that you could definitely argue that there might not be a prioritization. And it's more hopefully furthering design on a few of those things. But there's a case to be made for every piece of paper in every project in the CIP. So anyways, the same 5 people that voted against the budget also voted against the CIP. But the problem is that there was one councilor that recused himself from the vote. So it was a 5-5 tie, and that means the motion failed. So I'm saying all this to say that, you know, it was a difficult meeting because obviously this wasn't a unanimous budget. So I think we have a lot of work to do next year. I think the city council has a lot of work to do to try to figure out how to work together. I mean, we have a lot of votes, important things coming up this year as we kind of go into an election year next year. You know, things around zoning in the city, which takes 8 votes to do, things around the rec center that's going to take 8 votes to do, things around possible developments like Waterfront West, that could come in front of City Council, which will take 8 votes to complete. So there's a lot of things coming up. So I'm hoping City Council can move on from this and find a way to work together because it was a very difficult meeting to sit through. So that's where we are with that. And so, and as far as the CIP, we don't have to come right back to them with a new CIP plan. We reached out to our city solicitor, and as of right now, it's just our plan that we approved last year will still be the one in place until they vote on a new one. So that will probably happen sometime into July, but we're not going to rush back a plan because because we don't have to. We don't have to do a meeting before the close of the fiscal year. So that's where we're at. I'm running a little long, so I'm going to stop there because I felt like the budget was a lot to go to. I am going to bring out Connor Clancy. He's going to give us a couple minutes on first due. So let me go find Connor, and we'll be back to you on the Mayor's Corner. All right, so we're back on the Mayor's Corner. We're still at Page headquarters here on Greenleaf Street, and I'm with Connor Clancy, one of our finest Newburyport firefighters, and he's here today to talk about First Due, okay? So this was a software program that we bought a couple years ago, but now they're really using it to a lot of its capabilities. So I'm going to pass it over to Connor, let it talk about. Now, we've been really busy lately, too, the fire department. We've had some really significant fires, a terrible fire on Broad Street. We had a shed fire on Ferry Road. They've been incredibly busy, and it's a time of year, right? It's getting hotter out. We're going to see more fires, and First Due is really impactful to the fire department. And I just wanted Connor to tell you a little bit about it.
Thank you very much, Mayor. The fire department has slowly been incorporating this new computer program over the last 2 years. It's really our first computer upgrade in about 25 years. It's an all-encompassing program that covers everything from asset management, inspection, incident documentation, and two of the biggest pillars of why we wanted to go with this program was the ability to have a Community Connect program so that we can reach out and get feedback from the community, which we're very excited to launch is today, Friday. After a long, extensive setup period, it's an online portal where the community members can go in, log in for 100% free, and give us the type of information that's really critical to us in a time of an emergency. Contact information for the people at home, how many people we would expect to be at home. Are there functional needs that as we arrive on scene that we should be aware of ahead of time, whether it be physical or mental disabilities? These are all things that we can have at the tips of our fingers as we arrive on scene. We have the laptops and the computers now, and any resident that wants to will be able to log into this program, create their own profile, 100% secure profile that's only accessible to us, the fire department. And all that information is going to be readily available to us as we arrive on scene and hopefully better assist the community at large. One last thing that's really great about it is that our two closest mutual aid partners, Amesbury Fire Department and Salisbury Fire Department, also have this program. And they now have the ability for us to all share in this so that if we ever have to respond to neighboring communities, as we do a lot, as we did last week, when Salisbury and Amesbury came to us for that Broad Street fire, they now have the same information that we do since we all share the same program. So that really gives them a leg up as they are arriving on scene, that they have the same information. Building construction, it's all tied into the assessor's office. Hydrant location, very, very huge for us. A mapping system, a brand new mapping system that's all set up. Our old maps have gone out the window now. Now we have these new GPS maps that show exactly where each unit is as they follow along right on scene. So it's a big change for us. We're very excited about it. We're excited to launch Community Connect, and we're hoping to get as many people signed up as we possibly can.
Great, thank you, Connor. And that's really important. So I'm encouraging everyone who's watching this, sign up for Community Connect. I mean, I would say pets too, right? Like anything that they would need to know walking into a situation at your residence, they're going to have that on the laptop ready to go. And the fact that they can do that with the surrounding communities is just going to make what they do better and just more efficient. And just, again, it's going to allow them to do their job more quickly because they're going to have the information at their fingertips. Thank you, Connor. Thank you to Newburyport Fire Department for all they do. And I will see you next time in 2 weeks on the Mayor's Corner.